Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sogcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Matt.
I'm Garrett.
And I'm Owen.
The Mariners are currently 59 and 51 and tied for that second wild card spot. Night in and night out, they're still battling. They're about to start their 4-game series at home against the Yankees, and hopefully that goes well.
Sorry. Yeah, man, that game starts in about 40 minutes, so let's wrap this shit up. I'm trying to watch some baseball.
Yeah, we got to see that game.
Yeah, also a little late start on the episode this week. We had a bunch of birthdays, some camping going on, a bunch of out of town, but we're still bringing you the Sogcast every week. We find a way to get it done.
Happy birthday, producer Nathan. Happy birthday, Owen.
Happy birthday.
I'm 30.
Ugh,
Damn, homie.
I must suck. I want to know.
Yeah, my back hurts.
Already?
It's been hurting.
Speaking of backs hurting, how about the Mariners still carrying the weight of the second wild card spot? Still holding it down, still battling. We've stayed constant. We've been more or less, right around 500 coming out of the All-Star break. And that's fine. We're not losing ground. Gaining ground would be nice, but we're not dropping. We're doing great. We're doing great.
Yeah, we made our way with that 14-game winning streak above 500, and we have been staying there. We lost our momentum out of the break. We had to play Houston a couple times, and they're tough. But we ended up playing the Yankees here at the beginning of August, and we took 2 out of 3 games from the Yankees, who have been struggling a little bit lately, but the Mariners showing that they can beat the Yankees without a couple key players in their lineup is
In
New York.
Yeah, in New York.
And that helped a little bit for our lineup, too, since we have a little more pop now, and our home stadium's pitcher-friendly, and, look at Yankee Stadium. That helps us out, too, as much as it helps them out.
High school fields are bigger than Yankee Stadium, and it just go to show that the Mariners playing in a super hitter-friendly park hit 7 home runs, at least in the first 2 games of the series. They had hit 7 home runs. That's crazy. They pieced up Garrett Cole for 3 home runs in the first inning.
Ooh.
That was nice.
That was a rough start for him, for sure.
Dude spells his name wrong.
He also talks like Kermit the Frog.
And I have been talking about that for like 2 days now. It's like, yeah, it really sucks getting blown up by the Mariners.
It was just a rough start for me. That it happens.
It's like a mix of Kermit the Frog and Morty. When he was like, "Have you ever used Spider Tack?" He's like, "Oh, geez, guys, I don't even know how I'm supposed to answer that. Oh, geez."
Yeah, we jumped all over him, man. He left some over the middle, and we didn't miss him. We got a lot of dangerous hitters in our lineup now. Just goes to show how any day the Mariners can hit, but the Angels series also shows that things can change pretty quickly. I don't know how the Angels are kind of our kryptonite, but with the Yankees series, we had Marco get blown up early again.
His calling card is to give up 4 or 5 runs in the first 3 innings.
Yeah, he actually pitched a pretty good game against the Angels. I'll give him a little bit of credit. I've been trashing Marco for a long time, but not a terrible start. Flexen, though. Flexen blew it. I hate to see that because I love Chris Flexen.
He did get blown up. It's easier to watch because he's been consistently holding it down. He's been the same guy, essentially, every time he goes out there and takes the mound until he got blown up here. And, I hate to say it, but, a guy is due for a bad start. He's the guy that's kind of due for a bad start, if anyone is. Marco's been having rough starts every time. So they kind of just switched roles there in this last go-around, and we'll see how things shake out to see how they both do. I hope Marco hits a stride here after his last good start against the Angels.
I think I was talking to Owen, pretty sure it was you, about how the Mariners have gotten significantly better and Marco's kind of just stayed the same.
Yeah.
Is that what we were talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So if Marco's just as good as he's always been, the Mariners are just that much better now, and he needs to step up as well to match how good the Mariners became.
Yeah, Marco looked great when, our offense was garbage and stagnant, and he was kind of filling that void for Felix. He looked really good. He was our ace for a while. And now that the team, even the pitching staff, are like kind of rising above the occasion. He's just kind of staying where he is, and I don't see any progression.
It seems like Marco has to work harder and harder to stay a league average pitcher, and like you were saying, he was kind of our fill-in ace for a few years, and we loved him for being our number one, but we've gotten better pitching around him, so it makes him look worse. And he gets older and has injuries, has to come back from his injuries, and works harder to be a league average pitcher, and he's never going to really be an elite pitcher, and it's not going to get better as you get older. Just, I don't know what we do, but I think we eventually maybe move Marco.
I just want to say, what if we're thinking about Marco all wrong? So we considered him as like the ace of the team in the past and stuff, even if he didn't have necessarily ace-like qualities. He was the best pitcher on the Mariners during that time frame after Felix, which would essentially make him our ace per se. But what if instead of still seeing him in that light, we view him as like a Chris Flexen-esque guy?
Yeah.
Instead of a top of the rotation starter that's meant to get shit done, what if we just kind of change our viewpoint and be like, okay, so that's not who he is anymore. He doesn't have that ability. But if we could see him as a 4th or 5th starter guy that can find a way to get you 6 innings and hopefully under 4 runs, I think maybe public opinion could change about him a little bit, thinking of him in a different like limelight.
Well, I think public opinion of him is pretty good, but our opinion of him is not the public opinion.
Here in my opinion, yeah.
Yeah, our opinion's kind of grown a little bit darker for Marco because we've watched a little bit of regression and we see him working hard. But like Patrick's saying, he is playing his role very well. Most teams now, especially that we have Luis Castillo, Robbie Ray, and Logan Gilbert as our 1, 2, 3 for sure. Like Flexen and Marco are definitely the lefty-righty interchangeable, like you could call it a pitching platoon, our 4-5 spot, where those are guys who are never going to be dominant, but go out there and have to limit the damage every 5 days. And they've both kind of been doing that. Marco's ERA snuck up to about 4, but if you look at the league, there's worse pitchers, man. Like Marco struck out 7 and walked 1.
That's all. That's
Pretty
good.
good. Start.
That's good.
I was happy with that, even though he gave up that third run. I'd like, that's fine. I like that.
Yeah, super good point. Because I view Marco as the ace because he was in that role for a while in the past. But if I can kind of see it now. If I look at him as just like a workhorse to just get through 5-6 innings, kind of try and keep the damage down, I will be a lot more forgiving on him giving up 1, 2, 3 runs.
Yeah, we can embrace that role for him for sure. We can come off him a little bit, I think, because we just see the expectation. Our expectation is he still keeps doing what he's doing, but it's hard to expect him to do better.
I wouldn't be mad if we traded him.
I mean, in
Neither would
the
I.
All this
offseason,
positivity, I got to
in
find
the
that
offseason,
nugget.
anything could happen. I mean, I wouldn't mind it either, but we'll see what happens. I kind of hope we just kind of stick with our 5. Kirby's really good, too. We didn't trade him.
Hell yeah, brother. I
And
love George Kirby.
Emerson
Kid
Hancock's coming
slays.
up. Hancock's still coming up. He's our number 2 prospect, I think, pitcher prospect. So we still have pitchers coming up. We'll see what happens. We can ride Marco out until he actually does fall off that cliff and then have guys ready to go. Same with Flexen, honestly. We never know when Flexen's going to hit a point like that as well, where we're like, oh, no, he has a string of bad starts, and we'll be talking about him the same way we talk about Marco. So we'll see. I like both of those guys right now because they are getting it done and limiting the damage, giving us a chance to win most of the time.
Also, pitchers getting it done. Luis Castillo in his first start
my
with the
God.
Mariners. What more could you ask for? And
So good.
And he would have only given up 1 run. He did give up a 2-run shot when he was already at 110 pitches.
Yeah.
And the Mariners there was so much run support, it didn't matter. And just what an absolute master! Like, welcome to the team.
Hell yeah.
Just
you see JP make that diving catch, and he turns around and he's like, oh shit, defense? What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm now pitching for the best defensive team in all of baseball. Like, that's gotta make him feel pretty good.
He had such a big, natural smile. Like, I don't have to work as hard. Like, I can trust these guys to make all the plays behind me, and I can throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. I can throw a 4-seamer, 2-seamer. Dude, he kind of looks like Felix, honestly. There are comparisons to Felix, but the way he goes out there and just like dominates the mound, and he throws a hard slider, he throws a changeup that takes a deep dive. Like it looks like a fastball, and
That
it's just gone.
slider
just
is
like
scary,
we watched
dude.
Felix do.
I'm watching dudes. I really didn't follow him too closely when he was on the Reds, but I was
Yeah.
watching highlights and stuff, and dudes swing at his pitches and are not at all close. It's like, what are you seeing, man? Like, this dude is just throwing gas.
It's called tunneling. Like he throws all those pitches out of the same arm slot.
yeah.
So if, that changeup looks like that fastball that could be 99, and then it's just in the dirt, and you're swinging over it. You're nowhere near it. This hard slider looks like the fastball too. He has 3 pitches in the same tunnel.
Honestly, that's what Matt Brash did in his first ever start. It looked like he was throwing a frisbee out there with his slider. It was dipping so much. The thing is, major league hitters then learned that Matt Brash couldn't throw his slider for strikes. So when you saw that slider breaking, just lay off because it's breaking so much that it's going out of the zone. It's not going to be a strike. Whereas Castillo has that type of movement, has that type of power pitch, but because he's peppering the strike zone so much, you can't just lay off of it.
Yeah.
He can throw it for strikes.
He's a literal dominance pitcher.
Yeah. And, I like Matt Brash a lot, and I really liked his stuff. I remember watching his first start and just being like, oh, the movement on his pitches and stuff is insane. He couldn't find the strike zone, and MLB hitters will adapt and learn to pick up. And Castillo, you're not really going to adapt to that when he's smashing the strike zone so much, or can get you chasing.
Goes to show that 5 years in the league is a really big experience. Like he's been with the Reds, and the Reds had been close to a playoff push in the last couple of years, and has felt excited and has been an ace over there already. And just coming to this team and having that experience over a guy like Brash, who started pretty hot and then kind of seemed to lose it over time. And a guy like Luis Castillo can really hold it down. Like every start you expect him to be how he was. Like we've seen Robbie Ray come in comparison. We kind of don't know what Robbie Ray we're going to get. He did make that adjustment mid-season, which helped a lot, but we still are kind of like, ooh, is he going to get lit up today or is he going to dominate today? But Castillo is more, I think, of a punch. Like I think he can be that guy. He's our number 1 in my opinion.
Oh yeah. And that's what we traded for him to be.
Yeah.
We spent the money on Ray in the offseason, kind of hoping that Robbie Ray would be the ace of the team, and it just hasn't been there. He's had his stretches, but day in and day out, you don't know that he's going to be the dominant ace that game. It's a coin flip. And I think that's why Dipoto was willing to give up those prospects to get Castillo, because it's like, okay, we need an ace. If you want to make a playoff push, you have to have a for sure ace on your team.
He's bona fide.
Yeah. And, Robbie Ray got the money. Castillo got the prospects and stuff, like the return in the trade. And hopefully, he's under team control for through the 2023 season.
Yeah.
So hopefully at the end of next year, they'll extend him or whatever. But that's for us to talk about a podcast a year from now.
Yeah, he goes into like arbitration. I just hope we extend him before arbitration or during arbitration. Just be like, hey, man, like we know you're that good. Stay here for another 4 years, I hope that happens.
Super dope watching him in this Yankees series. Another great thing that happened. Now that Kelenic's back, cool. Well, let's give Kelenic a shot, I guess. Yeah, I know. I'm not. Nah. I could go either way on Kelenic. We'll see at this point. I don't have anything to say, good or bad.
We want
give
him
a
to
shot.
figure it out.
Yeah,
but
exactly. But he's just not. It doesn't look like he is. Maybe he will. But they did pinch hit Sam Haggerty,
Ham Swaggerty,
who immediately hit a home run.
That was so nice. I walked into a bar in Fairwood, like immediately.
So Patrick walks into a bar.
What else is new? And but I walked into a bar in Fairwood and immediately sat down. Like the Mariners had just given up the lead as I was like driving to the bar, and I sit down and Swaggerty, the man himself, immediately hits that pinch hit home run.
Game
And it was
tying.
oh my God, it was beautiful, amazing. And talk about like turning it around really, really quick. Haggerty is, with the playing time, he's produced, and I'd like to see him in more of an infield role. It just sucks that, like, Angels in the outfield. For the Mariners, it's like infielders in the outfield. We're just throwing so many infielders in the outfield, and like, I'd like to see Haggerty get some reps. If JP needs a rest day, let him play short. And Frazier, to his credit, is turning it around. Crazy. He's hitting, 330 for the month?
330 in the last month.
Frazier has really turned that corner. But let's say he needs a rest day. Haggerty at second. I think Haggerty would be an awesome second baseman. I don't know how great his arm is. I mean, I'm sure he could fill in at third if Suarez needed a day off. But I think second base, with his quickness, I mean, he can cover a lot of range that Frazier still can't cover.
I think it's interesting to think about having Haggerty and Moore, because Haggerty seems like he's a little bit better than Dylan, but has the same role on the team. I think Dylan Moore is really useful because he has stealing bases. He has a skill.
Dude, Sam Haggerty stole
But
third the other
Haggerty
day.
seems
so pretty.
Yeah, Haggerty seems to be able to do the same thing. So,
Yeah, exactly. They're both play this utility role. It's super awesome to have two utility guys who play infield and outfield. They're fast as shit.
When I think about having both of them, it's hard to think that at the end of the season when we're full strength and everyone's on our roster that both of them are going to be there. And right now it seems like Haggerty, and it's weird because I love Dylan Moore and we don't know yet, but it's nice to have both of those guys. We just have a plethora of infielders, and our outfielders have been injured. But when everyone's back, man,
I'm always
they're going to
saying
have to pick
man.
one.
We have so many second basemen that we play in the outfield.
I agree with Matt 100%, and it sucks because I do love Dylan Moore and Sam Haggerty. But the truth is, it doesn't make sense for both of them to be on the roster, where a kind of utility speed guy, usually you replace one of those utility guys with a more everyday, which will probably happen if the Mariners ever get a fully healthy outfield, which, who knows? Mitch Haniger is back.
Yeah.
And Kyle Lewis is spotty at best. They're still resting him a ton. But traditionally, you don't have two utility speed guys on a roster. And it pains me because, yes, I do like both of them, but it would make more sense for one of them to go and to pick some more traditional.
Well, I mean, if Kelenic can't get his bat together and you need some guy to come in and hit a home run, it's nice to have both those guys around.
That is good. I mean, true.
With Kelenic, Lewis, Trammell, Lewis, like you're saying, has been DHing a lot and not playing a lot of reps in the outfield. I wish they'd take the baby gloves off, because we have dudes Trammell's not ready yet apparently, but we have Kelenic up already. We have just take the baby gloves off, let him play reps in the outfield and see what happens. Like we're talking about, let him play baseball. And maybe he feels uncomfortable out there, but I mean, we got to take the baby gloves off, because now we have Santana and France. We have both of those guys should be in our lineup every night. So Kyle Lewis has to play a position, and they could platoon him in left field with Winker lefty righty depending on the splits. But Winker's been hitting, so kinda. I don't know. They could platoon him in left field. That's what I'm saying, with Winker, so that he gets reps in the outfield and hits against left-handed pitching.
I think that would probably be the best option, is platoon in left field. Although Winker average is still a little low, but man, he's been walking like crazy. I saw this the other day that Winker was the first Mariner to reach base 4 times in a row in back-to-back games since Edgar Martinez.
Yes,
Sick.
sir.
Yeah, and he was maybe piecing a single here or there, but getting hella walks.
I think
walking
it was
like
to
a
be
month.
walked 3+ times in back-to-back games.
But yeah, I think probably platooning Lewis in left field would be the smartest move. It just seems Haniger and Lewis aren't ready to go every single day. And, of course, Haniger just came back. I don't know. It seems like we've been talking this whole time about what to do when the Mariners have a healthy outfield, and it still hasn't fully happened yet.
So, like, who do we send down, right?
Kelenic.
We got to give him some more time, man.
I know.
We don't. I
believe-
disagree on that one.
I think we got to give him the shot. Just see what happens. But, I mean, we'll see what happens in the next few weeks, but he's my first pick. I don't care enough to give him a shot. I want to send him down.
I mean, he's young. He's proven himself in AAA. He mashes in AAA.
So did Zunino.
I mean, you're right. He did. And I mean, Zunino he's been on a major league roster.
Yeah, he just had trouble like hitting the curveball, and he's an aggressive strikeout.
I mean, we
kinda
know
guy.
slumps
All or
happen.
nothing.
Like, Frazier has hit like shit the whole year except for the last month, right?
Okay.
And he was, last year he was over 300.
Like 305, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, like really great. I think Kelenic just hasn't had that like longevity in the league. He plays like 20 games, does pretty shitty to be fair, and then he gets sent down, option down. I think we need to keep him around for at least a couple months. And I know like we're getting towards the end of the season here, but like he's only got one option left. I assume that going up and down constantly is like, it's messing with this game because he's going from like high caliber, high quality pitchers to, people rehabbing in Tacoma and, people trying to get into the majors. And I think he just needs to see MLB caliber pitches for a lot longer.
Just more time in the majors.
Yeah.
How long do we give him a leash here this year, though? Because with Mitch Haniger back and having Kyle Lewis, I don't know how many options Lewis has, but do we send Lewis down if he's shaky and keep Kelenic around because he's a left-handed bat? Or do we, there's a couple, I don't know what to do. It's a really weird situation with our outfield now with Haniger and Lewis being, we have to be gentle with both of them and give them DH time. But we have Santana and France. What are we going to do? And Frazier's good now, so if Frazier stays hot the way he should be, then we don't have to worry about what we're doing at second base as much. I don't know what to do with our outfield or who to send down. It seems like there's a 3-person merry-go-round.
Yeah.
Julio's out, so that's kind of why Kelenic is in center right now.
Actually, Haggerty's getting the start tonight.
Excellent.
Which
I
is
love
nice.
that. I want to see him. Can we wrap this up? What time? It's 15 more minutes. Let's watch some baseball.
I will say, and I don't even mean I'm not trying to do a got you moment or anything like this, Owen, but
Uh-oh. Spaghetti-O.
no, I'm not even trying to put you on blast.
Sounds
but-
like he is.
but-
What did he say? What did he say wrong? Tell him.
I'm gonna
no,
quit the
he didn't
podcast.
say anything wrong.
Let him
but,
know.
Jared Kelenic has had 494 major league plate appearances, 444 at-bats. That's more than a regular season. He's had a season's worth.
Is it regular up? Don't they get 600 if they actually start every year?
Yeah, maybe it was a
he has.
platoon guy.
I would
He's
say
had
he
like
has
a,
about one season.
about a season's worth, and he
Yeah.
has 75 total hits.
Oh my God.
That's not bad.
So you're on the same page with me. Kelenic's your
bad.
first choice to send down if we
That's
need
bad.
to.
However, I do agree with Owen's point of him running out of options, and you know what? What could it hurt? Maybe sending Lewis down to figure it out a bit more, maybe. And
He mashes in AAA too.
yeah, he mashes at major league level when
Yeah.
he's healthy,
Right.
but I don't know. I'm on the fence because one, I do see where Owen's coming from with Kelenic is young, and maybe he just needs some more time to figure it out. I just feel like the leash might be a little bit shorter with how
It's
bloated
short.
the outfield is.
And the push we're making for the playoffs right now. We need someone to be. We need to be sure that we have somebody stable in there.
I'm all for sending Lewis down and keeping Kelenic in. I want to see how Kelenic does over the course of the next few weeks. And I'm just not confident in Lewis's ability to stay healthy. Dude is made of glass. Let's be real. Even in the minors, he broke his leg or his femur or something.
Torn ACL.
Yeah, it was out for a while. I mean, he
That's
hasn't.
quite the difference. He broke his femur, tore his ACL.
It was a collision at the plate in like Double A.
It's both leg-related
Goddamn.
injuries.
Yeah.
He seems to be on the DL more than he's playing, and he got that concussion like almost 2 months ago. It's been a while, and I've never gotten a concussion before, so I don't know the protocol, but like I just don't think the dude can stay healthy. So let him. I want to put him down in AAA, let him mash, get that confidence back up. I'm sure it's probably hasn't wavered because he is a killer for sure. I want to see if he can stay healthy in AAA, and if he can't, which I don't think he will, he just is always hurt. Just trade him. He's rookie of the year. He's nasty, but he just can't stay healthy. I think we get some good value for him.
It's a good point.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree, and especially with the health issues. The thing is, the Mariners are going to have to make some decisions on that front quick because Dylan Moore and Julio are both scheduled to come back this week, and you have to make moves corresponding to that.
Yeah, they're back Wednesday. They're eligible to come back on Wednesday.
I know Demo is probably going to be set to come back the second his time on the IL is up. They said his back spasms have calmed down. He's set to jet. Julio's still feeling a little bit of vibration in his wrist, in the cages and stuff. You want him to be 100% healthy or whatever.
Yeah.
But he could even come back. Well, I guess if you come back from the IL, I don't think they're going to extend him for another 10 days. So they're going to have to make 2 corresponding moves. That's something the Mariners are going to have to figure out, and they're going to have to figure out quick. And I guess, yeah, I don't know. I would be okay with sending Kelenic back down right away, but with the one option left, that then leaves you handcuffed in the future.
Yeah.
So maybe send Lewis down.
It might be a better move because of that, and just let Kelenic get his chance here and see what happens. I wouldn't mind having Haniger, Julio, Winker, Kelenic on the bench. I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, and if we give Kelenic this chance, we send Lewis down, and Kelenic continues to struggle, just get rid of him.
Do you guys remember the last time we had this problem? I don't. The Mariners have too many good players.
Pretty good problem.
Oh, no.
So, speaking of our bench, though, like we have Terens sitting there that plays every few days and maybe pinch hits every once in a while and hit his first home run finally.
Woohoo.
He's on the board.
Hey, he's now hit as many home runs as
Right?
he's given up this year. Good
But
for him.
It's only
We
August.
also traded for catcher Kurt Casale.
Yeah.
So he has been hurt a little bit and is rehabbing in AAA right now. And we also traded for our boy now, Matt Boyd. I think he's from our area. I think he's from Bellevue.
Yeah, I
And
think he's a Bellevue boy. I think we were looking it up.
yeah, he's a left-handed pitcher, relief pitcher, probably right now. I think he was a starter, was expected to make starts for the Tigers, but got hurt. He's been hurt all season. He's about to rehab too. He's rehabbing and is going to be coming back soon in the next couple weeks. So I'm thinking by September 1st, they both will be on our roster. And once Kurt Casale gets in here,
It's an easy option.
what do we do, boys?
What do we do, boys?
What do?
We
DFA Luis Torrens.
Yes. I'm tired of that dude.
Yeah, this is exciting for me. I'm glad we got Kurt Casale, a defense first catcher, as a backup.
No. And also in a month's time, the rosters expand in September. So you're allowed to have more players on your active roster. So then we won't. So let's say we do keep Kelenic up till then.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Does it go up to 30?
I don't think it's that high.
29?
Maybe like 28, 29. But you get a couple more extra people in there because for teams, they can bring in like guys that are on the cusp, and they can get some major league at bats under their belt before the end of the season and stuff. Just let them see some major league activity.
Yeah.
And then for playoff teams, it helps them expand the roster because you do need more depth in the playoffs. So when September comes around, you're allowed to expand your roster. So maybe, do keep Kelenic up
Now that I know that, I think that's maybe the move. We just keep Kelenic up, and when we expand the roster, he's just there, so we don't have to send him down and worry about the option.
Yeah, I mean, you guys kind of convinced me. It's probably a better idea to send Kyle Lewis down, keep Kelenic up. I'm glad we went in depth on that because
Yeah. Oh, and you
I
convinced,
really,
you changed. I was a hard.
I was a little trigger happy. Send Kelenic down.
Yeah. Get him out of here. Yeah, Terens, though. Terens just needs to go. Sucks to suck. Sorry. Hope it works out for you somewhere else, just not here, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, exactly. Someone needs a catcher.
Someone.
Catchers are hard to come by right now.
It's true. And I mean, Terens definitely it needs to go. Hope it works out for you somewhere else, but it sucks to suck, man. It's not working out here.
Yeah, exactly. I was listening to the John Boy. It was just Jake and Trevor Plouffe talking. They were talking about the Mariners need a catcher, and they're talking about Cal Raleigh. Like, sorry, Cal. Like, you're probably a good guy, but like, it's kind of your time. Like, they need to replace him. And I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Did they
Cal
say
Raleigh is our guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We need another catcher. We don't need to get rid of Cal Raleigh. What we need to do is DFA Terens and get a backup for Cal Raleigh.
Definitely. That's what we're saying here, but for them, they look at the whole national scale, and like they're just starting to pay attention to the Mariners.
That's
I think.
totally fair.
Right.
So
Yeah,
like
they
when
don't
they're
know
reading
about Luis
chat,
Terens. Good.
yeah, even
They don't
people
need to
in
know
their-
about Luis Terens.
Even people in their chat are like, "We have Cal Raleigh, we have Cal Raleigh," but it's like, yeah, don't tell them we have Cal Raleigh. Tell them we need to DFA Terens.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
If you're in chat, tell them the relevant thing. We're keeping Cal Raleigh. Oh my, like,
Yeah, I don't know why
he's
they
not
were
a
talk-
replaceable
well, I do know
guy.
why,
He's
but-
young. We have control over him for multiple years.
And pitchers
Terens
love
is
working
sucking.
with him.
But the thing that on a national scale, they don't pay attention to the Mariners' backup catcher sucking. So
Fair enough.
I think they'll realize and be like, oh, I see what they're doing. Cal Raleigh's still there.
Trevor Plouffe, we're gonna need a national apology from you. Nah, I don't beef with Trevor Plouffe.
Yeah.
But as far as like the media coverage about the Mariners goes, yeah, they're just starting to pay attention to us because we're finally something, which is awesome.
Yeah, something
just
to talk
like
about.
on another point, real quick, I was listening to the broadcast the other day, and Rizz was talking about trading baseball cards and like how Jerry DiPoto has a hard job, and it's like it's not as easy as trading baseball cards like you were when you were a kid. And he mentioned DJ Sports Cards in Renton.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
He says
shout out.
he says he goes there every year. He buys a box of tops from that year and just puts them on the shelf for his grandkids. He said he's done that since the late 70s.
That's dope.
Every year until
my God,
2022.
that's so
And I
dope.
was like, what the fuck? Rizz has this collection of boxes of tops that he's just going to give to his grandkids. And they're going to open them all up one day and be like, whoa!
That's so dope.
I-
dude.
Isn't that sick?
That is so cool.
That's so cool.
Now I just got to hang out at DJ Sports Cards every day of the year, hoping it's the one day Rick Rizz comes in to buy tops.
You gonna get his autograph?
I'll give him a big old hug and say thank you. Also, I have Rick Rizz's autograph. I met him a few times back when Dave Niehaus and I were buddies, and I used to hang out in the booth with Dave Niehaus as he was calling games with Rick Rizz. But that's another time.
I know Dan Wilson.
Yeah, I thought that was so cool. I was like, man, Rick Rizz, like you're just the man. Also, shout out to DJ Sports Cards in Renton.
Hey,
Love
shout out
that place.
DJs.
DJs. I always went there as a kid to buy my Pokemon cards.
Me too.
My baseball cards. My grandparents bought all the cards for me from that shop. I
Same.
still go there these days to buy hobby boxes. I love that place. They've been open since I've been born, and that's my local card shop, and it's been awesome.
Also, as many Renton businesses around here go out of business and switch and change, DJs and I think Dairy Queen on the corner have always been a staple. Like they've always been there.
Two businesses that you would immediately expect to shut down when anything goes sideways. They're just staples.
They're
Yeah.
forever.
The Renton Highlands.
Yep. Shout out to DJs, man. Yeah, all my Pokemon cards from back in the day. That place was cool. I haven't been in there in
Still
a
is
while.
cool.
It's dope.
I used to play the hell out of MLB Showdown. I don't know if anyone remembers that game.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love MLB Showdown.
Yeah, I played a couple of tournament nights there. Came in third once. It was pretty good.
Hey, that's a
Hey,
good
that's
night.
what's up.
Who was your biggest hitter on your team? You're
I
on
wish
base
I could
10.
remember. I don't know. You've seen my showdown cards. Maybe you know
Yeah.
who my biggest hitter was. I just remember having the David Bell card, and I really
Dude.
loved the David Bell card.
I remember Ryan Kolesko was slapping in my lineup when I played with my brother. He just, for some reason, every time he's up, I could roll a high number and just smack.
DJ Sports or like Showdown, it's kind of like having a fantasy baseball team in a sense. So for our weekly CS guys, if we could do a fantasy baseball team, if we could take one player anywhere in the league right now active to have them join the Mariners, immediately become part of the active roster, who would it be? Who would you go with?
Oh, shit.
Any player. I mean, you're looking at the top 5, Like, who's the best? We
Yeah,
want
I
that
mean-
guy. Vlad, Shohei,
I mean,
Like-
Shohei would probably Alcantara.
Alcantara, yeah. But I
This
mean,
is really hard.
just one? Just one player that you think would
One
just
guy.
like bolster the Mariners a little bit?
A
Yeah.
little bit.
I mean, a ton?
If you could have picked him up at the trade deadline
Okay.
for cash considerations,
Gotcha, okay.
any player, it's fantasy. Who would it be? I would.
Gotta be Vlad.
Really?
I think so.
I was thinking Vlad.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
having second thoughts, but Vlad is up there.
Oh, we have so many outfielders, but Byron Buxton would be sick.
Oh,
yeah.
No, he
How-
can't stay healthy
oh.
either, man.
I don't
He's
care,
being
that's
healthy
true.
this
I
year.
don't even care.
He's missed like 20 games.
It's between Shohei and Vlad, but I think that's almost unfair. Like they're in another tier that I can't pick those guys. But Shohei Ohtani is my pick.
Of course.
What about you guys?
I would probably go Alcantara, the ace for the Marlins. Imagine him, Castillo, Gilbert as our 1, 2, 3.
And Robbie Ray in there.
Yeah, occasionally Robbie Ray. That would be sick, though. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that'd be wild, man.
Also, it's funny, it kind of overlaps with, like, our jersey picks, but it's essentially
Yeah.
kind of the same thing you want, like, fantasy baseball.
What about you, Owen?
I'd probably do Diaz from the Mets.
Really? You want him back?
Yeah.
Fuck
He's
yeah.
been pretty lights out for the Mets, and they love him there. We had him when he was real young, and, he was still kind of working through his progression and everything. And, moving Seawald and Castillo to just bullpen, just bolster that bullpen and have a dedicated closer would be sick.
That's a really good pick. Actually, I'm all on board for that. And also, Edwin Diaz set the Mariners record for saves in a season, and then we traded him to the Mets, and he had a little bit of a down year, but he had a tired arm. He was way overused. He had something like 56 saves for the Mariners. It was astronomically
I'm wondering
high.
if it was more than that. And he made a bet with Scott Service at the time, too. I can't remember what the bet was. Like, Scott has to get a haircut.
He
or
had to
some
get
shit
like a
that.
funny fade or haircut.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Owen's pick is really good and now that Diaz has had a year of rest, he's back to being dominant. I don't want to get too ahead, but you might have another Mariano Rivera type player on your hands with Edwin Diaz if he can keep up
For sure.
what he's doing.
Diaz was electric for us, and he did have a rough time transitioning to the Mets. He blew a lot of saves in the last couple years and had some rough times, but he's 100% back to form. He just pitched a 2-inning shutout close against the Braves, Mets Braves. That's huge. That's big balls. And Edwin Diaz, I think our guy now is Andres Munoz. He's our new Edwin Diaz,
That's
who's young and
true.
figuring it out. So we
That
kind of
dude is
have
lights
that
out.
guy, but it would be great to have two of those guys.
Yeah, right?
I love Edwin Diaz, young Edwin. I called him.
Yeah, he does have 57 saves for that. Dude, what?
Yeah, and that
For the
wasn't even
record.
the record. I think the record for saves in a season, I know it belongs to Eric Gagne.
It's like 62 or
I
something.
thought it was like 62 or 64.
Yeah, I remember when he broke that record. I watched him with his sport goggles and
Yeah,
with
he
the
looked
Dodgers,
like
bro.
such a dweeb out there. And he just...
Do you remember the All-Star game when he had a streak of scoreless innings going and he the All-Star game doesn't matter, but he gave up his scoreless inning streak in the All-Star game. Like, he hadn't given one up for so long, and then he gave one. It was insane. And then he went back and I think kept going, but
Yeah.
it
Eric
was kind of
Gagne
weird.
was an absolute machine.
Yeah,
And
I
he-
loved him.
And he looked like a total dork.
yeah.
He did. He came in. He had like the big sports goggles would come in. Looks like he's about to go snowboarding.
I liked it.
Yeah.
The blue and white looked nice.
I say we double up on CS guys. Let's do another one.
So, like, kind of in the same vein of kind of fantasy baseball team thing, or like, I guess just like which baseball stadium do you guys want to see? Because I've seen a lot on TV and I haven't been fucking anywhere. So, I've been to T-Mobile Park and that's it.
Same.
And there's other parks out there that are beautiful. What parks have you guys been to?
I've been to Coors Field. Yeah, Coors Field, Rockies. Very beautiful stadium. It's cool. They have at the because it's the mile high city, right? Up in their 300 level, they have like a designated line of chairs that indicate that you're over like a mile over. It's like 5
that is
miles.
cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool. And you also get really drunk over there because you're at such a high elevation. I've been to Turner, which is the Braves, and SunTrust, which is their remodeled stadium. Turner was cool, very classic retro feel. SunTrust is beautiful because it's brand new. Yeah, Turner's got that like feel, like a retro feel, and SunTrust is so new, and it's also like different, like the climate out there for Safeco, for Timo, you're always cold, and in SunTrust because you're down south. You can play games until like 10, 11 p.m. and be in shorts and like a beater, and you're just very comfortable. And I love that. And I'm always cold, so.
That's great.
You been anywhere else?
No, not any active parks.
Is there one you want to see real bad?
I heard you talk a good game about, is it guaranteed rate for the White Sox?
White Sox.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful stadium.
Well, that was going to be my pick.
Oh,
Seriously, you guys want? I need to pay attention to that park, I guess.
it was
It's
really
not really on
cool.
my radar.
So I've been to T-Mobile, obviously, Wrigley Field for the Cubs, Dodger Stadium, guaranteed rate for the White Sox, Coors also for the Rockies. And I think, oh man, I look at the views of either the St. Louis Cardinals Stadium or I believe it's PNC Park for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, the Cardinals is Busch.
Yeah, Busch Stadium for the Cardinals, and I believe PNC Park for the Pirates. Oh, I know. Those are both beautiful, beautiful stadiums. The one I absolutely want to go to, the San Francisco Giants Stadium, right there on the water.
Yeah.
That, right there with the bay, seems beautiful. I would love to go to those.
Is that the one where dudes hang out in kayaks and like fetch balls
Yeah.
out of the water?
That is
That's
the Giant
so sick.
Stadium.
Yeah.
People with dogs are like, hey, go fetch the ball.
Yeah.
Dogs
Hell,
fetch
I would
home
even
run
do
balls.
that. Not even go to a game into the stadium. Just hang out in a kayak listening to the game on the radio.
I'd do that with you. Let's go.
Dude, that sounds like so much fun.
Sogcast field trip.
Yeah.
Book the hotel, boys.
Next
down.
time the Mariners play the Giants, let's go.
That would be
Not
sick.
that far. I think it's the closest one to us. That's not T-Mobile, right?
Actually, yeah.
I think it
is.
is.
That's true.
Also, Giants has that weird triples alley in like right center where it's just you got normal dimensions and then just super deep in right center.
Super tall, like hard walls out there.
Yeah. There's a few. I mean, realistically, one day I'd like to go and see every single stadium, except for the Coliseum, but Oakland. But hopefully that sewage dump will be destroyed in a month, and no one has
Coliseum.
to ever suffer through that ass wipe of a stadium ever again.
Yeah, A's are gonna be in Las Vegas soon anyway, so don't even count that.
Shout
one.
out to the Las Vegas Athletics.
So actually, my stepmom's, my grandparents on my stepmom's parents are, they've been to every stadium. They
That's
traveled
sick.
around and went to every stadium, old Yankee Stadium, everything. Like, we got a suite and had a little celebration on one of their anniversaries, and they went to their last stadium, I think, recently, and we celebrated that, and it was a really cool time, man. Like, do you go to every baseball stadium is a that's a long journey.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
It gives me goosebumps to think about. Like, that's really cool that they got to do that, and you're well on your way. Like, you got a long list going. I've been to two stadiums. I can't lie. I've been to the Kingdome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was dope. I remember being in the Kingdome and doing the wave, but the wave, like the top and the bottom and the top level were going one direction, but the middle level was going the other direction. It was like
That
the
sounds
most
pretty
intense
cool.
wave
I
I've
hate
ever.
the
'cause
wave,
it was a circle,
but that sounds cool.
It was a circle stadium, so it was really like it just flowed the whole time instead of having gaps like other stadiums do. A stadium I'd really like to go to is Fenway Park. It's my great-grandpa played on the Red Sox in 1946 in the World Series against the Cardinals, and we have a whole bunch of like memorabilia and stuff and old signed bats and the team picture and all that kind of shit. And I've never been anywhere, and I want to go to Boston and see Fenway Green. I want to see the monster. I want to see the pesky pole and hang out and have beers like that at the park. That's an epic place, and it's irreplaceable.
Would you, if you went to Fenway, would you want to sit on the green monster, or would you want to sit?
I mean,
there's
yeah,
seats up there. You could sit on
I would
top
love
of the.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I think
I'd
I would
sit
too.
anywhere, but I would
Yeah,
sit.
it's
I'd
historic.
want to
I'd
sit
go to
up there
Boston
for
and
sure.
sit on the monster, yeah.
At least one of the games I go to when I'm there, I'd like to get up there and
Where like
sit up there.
when I went to Wrigley, I went and sat behind home plate ish in the 100 level for one game. And in the second game, I sat in the bleachers, and like that's the way to do Wrigley is
Yeah,
the
man.
bleachers. And I feel like kind of same with like Fenway. One of the things you got to sit on the monster, right? Like that'd be quite the experience.
Sitting by the right field pole, the pesky pole, would be dope too.
That's true, because I mean the fence
so
is like
short,
knee high. You're
And
like
it's a weird like arc down to the pole, and like the player comes right up to the wall there. The balls are bounce over the wall there. That'd be an exciting place to be too.
that would be it. That'd be sick.
Garrett, what stadiums do you want to see?
I was going to pick Guaranteed Rate because I know
Yeah.
Patrick's been there. I want to see a White Sox game.
Yeah. I would like
And
to.
he
Dude,
said it was dope.
you
It was
guys
a
wanna
cool
do that?
stadium and the atmosphere. Great view. I went to an opening day there against the Mariners, and it was great. They tailgate it.
That's another thing.
That's
You
so
can't
cool.
do that at T-Mobile.
It's the Midwest, dude.
T-Mobile's in the middle of a fucking metropolis. It sucks. You can't tailgate
It's like
shit.
illegal to tailgate.
Yeah, there's nowhere to really go unless, and the CenturyLink, the Seahawks Stadium parking lot doesn't really get filled up for that kind of thing. But when I went to the White Sox for opening day, I mean they had beer vendors giving out free beer and hot dogs, and there's just it was so cool. And the people of Chicago could not have been nicer. Really enjoyed my time. Shout out to the White Sox and their stadium.
I'm
Dude,
saying that's
I'm
right.
trying to
That's
go.
my pick. Yep.
That's another trip we got to plan then. We got to go to San Francisco. We got to go to Chicago.
Let's
I have
do
In
it.
Chicago, we can hit 2 stadiums.
Yeah, there you go.
I have a whole book dedicated to all the stadiums in the league, and it includes like best places to eat in the city, best places to stay, best cool things to visit. So we can plan a podcast tour.
Oh my
Hey.
It's
god,
actually really dope.
that'd be sick.
First
That would be
live
cool.
stream. Ooh, teaser.
Oh, that would be actually kind of sick.
If only I would have won that Mega Millions. We could be planning that trip right now. Well, next year.
You'll get them someday.
Anyways, I think that will about wrap this one up. I want to thank you guys all for listening. As always, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, reach out to us. Thanks for being patient as we had to delay this episode a little bit, but we'll always make sure to bring you the content because we want to do this for you guys just as much as you guys want to hear us. So thank you, and go Mariners.
Go Mariners! About 15 minutes late for the game. Let's go watch some baseball, boys.
And it's doo-wop time, and it's doo-wop time.
And I'm gonna do wop, do wop, wop.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.